My name is Michelle, and I'm crazy. Okay, not really. But I find that using a word like crazy helps me to sort of ridiculize the way that I'm feeling, and laughing at myself helps. But it's not a laughing matter. Did you know that today is Bell Let's Talk Day? And we're supposed to encourage each other to talk about mental illness. It's a really important initiative, but it can still be really hard for people to open up. So I'm going to start the conversation. This is going to be a visual presentation. I'm going to run you through a few pictures to start, just to give you an idea. This is me as a baby. I know. Adorable. What happened? I don't think I was crazy yet, but I'm not sure. But it is always good to start at the beginning. Now, this is me in the 3rd grade. Can you tell what decade this is from? It was around this time that I started having ankle problems. And in the 3rd grade, it was the first time I was tested for arthritis. I'll come back to that. This is me in the 6th grade. Hashtag so much hair. Also, that's my brother's shirt, just saying. Oh wait, don't tell him. I'm kidding. This was the 2nd time I was tested for arthritis because the pain in my ankle kept coming back. This is me in the 8th grade. Yes, those are suspenders. Thank you for asking. This was the first time that I couldn't get out of bed. I was too bummed. At the time, of course, I didn't understand exactly what was wrong, but I knew that day I was not getting up. This is me in OAC, when I briefly had a nose ring. I still had ankle problems, so I was sent to a specialist who again tested me for arthritis, sent me for more tests, including an MRI, and everything came back negative. In fact, she said to me, "Well, it's a thinker," which of course inspired a great deal of confidence in my medical professionals. This is me in my 2nd year of university, where I evidently began my career as a European supermodel. It was around this time that I had my first panic attack. My doctor agreed to send me to a psychotherapist, and let's just say it didn't go well. He was an elderly gentleman, well, not elderly, but he was an older gentleman, and while I was in the middle of explaining something about, I feel like my friends and I are drifting apart, he stopped me and asked me a question, and I remember specifically that I am not the one who brought this up. He said, "So, how long has your appearance been a problem?" Who asks that? And I thought, always? Then we left the room and he weighed me. And then he said, "Well, we're going to lose 2 pounds before next week, aren't we?" And I thought, maybe you should work on that too, Doc. And then we made an appointment for the next week, which I promptly canceled and never went back because, obviously. That ridiculous experience kind of shied me away from wanting to see another therapist, even through the 7 or 8 years when I was hiding out in my parents' basement because I was too afraid to, be an adult and go after my dreams, etc., when I probably should have seen a therapist, but again, afraid. So let's fast forward to 2016, when things had taken a bit of a downturn. After some convincing from a friend who had noticed I wasn't doing so well, I called our employee assistance program, and they set me up with a therapist. Let me tell you, I cried so much at the beginning that I'm pretty sure I used up her entire Kleenex budget. But I really did luck out with my therapist, and things started to get a bit better, until the fall of 2017, when, grammatically enough, things took another bit of a downturn. But I thought I was handling everything okay, I was keeping it in, I was doing well, until January 28th, 2018. On January 28th, 2018, my grandma died. And that was very difficult, and my heart and my brain were just like, "I'm out, can't handle this anymore." We, and by we I mean me, my heart and my brain, we weren't quite ready. We weren't prepared for that level of grief. My therapist even noticed a big difference, and in March of that year, just as I was auditioning for Mamma Mia, here I am on stage in the background there, she suggested that I see my family doctor because she thought that I might have depression. After an assessment, my family doctor agreed, and I was officially diagnosed with depression and put on medication. So I went to Toronto in May. This is just before I went to that trip. Ooh, my forehead's shiny. That's all right. It's a good selfie. To see Kiefer Sutherland in concert, because what can Jack Bauer not fix? Am I right? And then in August, my mom and I went to Ireland as well. I needed to clear my head, so a change of scenery would help. This is me in Ireland, posing bravely in front of the ocean at the cliffs of Moher. They were both wonderful trips, but my medication still ended up being increased. And then once again since then. So I make sure to take my medication every day, but I still have panic attacks from time to time, which of course are never fun, and I still have really bad days, and sometimes it's so bad I can't get out of bed, just like that day in the 8th grade. So what do all of these pictures have in common? I'm smiling or being silly in each of them, and evidently I change my hair a lot. But that doesn't mean I wasn't struggling when those pictures were taken. You never know how dark the world is for someone, even when they seem to be enjoying the light. It's very deep. I'm going to let you think about that for a second while I turn the page. Since opening up about my struggles, I have found that most people have been incredibly supportive. Mostly, I've just learned so much about myself. My capacity for empathy towards other people has increased, and I'm learning to listen to my body and my heart more. Still working on that. I went back to Ireland last year for 2.5 months, and it was amazing. And I never would have had the courage to do that without the help of my therapist, who has helped me to understand and learn so much about who I am. So now, remember when I was telling you about my chronic ankle pain before? Well, I've had problems with the same ankle for about 30 years now. It started before I was born, obviously. And only 3 years ago did a doctor finally suggest that it could be caused by chronic anxiety. I'm going to let that sink in for a second. 3 years ago. So while it's nice to finally have an answer, I'm a little bit annoyed. Because after all the doctors and all the specialists I saw, not one of them even ever suggested that it could be psychological. Because maybe if 20 years ago or even 10 years ago mental health had been discussed more openly, my anxiety could have been diagnosed and treated, and I wouldn't be struggling the way I am today. And make no mistake, I am struggling today, but we don't need to get into that. So where do we go from here? That's the big question, right? We talk about it. We open up. We get help. There are so many resources available for all of us. There are employee assistance programs, which are great, and Brad Pitt movies, most of which are great, and travel, and cookies, and hugs, and puppies. What helps me, along with my therapy and my medication, is writing, and singing, and acting, and Brad Pitt movies, and baking, and Brad Pitt movies. Did I mention the Brad Pitt movies? I think I did, yes, thank you. But that's me. And maybe those things wouldn't work for you. Maybe for you it's Jason Momoa, who's also quite lovely. Thank you. My point is this. Find simple things that can cheer you up until you're ready to talk to a professional, to your doctor, to a friend or a family member, or me. You see me on the street, you need someone to talk to, I'm happy to listen. Unless I'm on my way to the bathroom, then it's kind of awkward. But anyways, I promise you that people care more than you think they do. So if you're ready to get help, you can go to the Bell Let's Talk website, which I imagine is now magically on the screen, but who knows, which has links to more resources as well. Above all, please remember that mental illness is not a choice, and it can be really, really hard. But it's also nothing to be ashamed of. So I'll finish this extraordinarily long video by telling you the same thing I try to tell myself every day. Brad Pitt would so like you. Oh wait, no, that's just for me. No, but seriously, it's gonna be okay. I promise.